Hey, Real Nerds listeners, your favorite host Ryan here to remind you that social media is great. How great is it? There's many ways you can find the Real Nerds on social media. You can download us on iTunes. You can listen to us streaming on Stitcher Radio. You can call us 720-6nerds5. Aw man, our website is so cool. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You want to leave some fan mail? Oh, that's so easy, realnerds@gmail.com. Twitter, we got it, @real_nerds. You can even like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and hey, enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con. I am Ryan. With me sometimes is
Brad.
And sometimes also
James. Man.
Yeah, that's just cold-blooded right off the bat.
Seriously. Shit.
I don't fuck around, guys.
You're third. I'm gonna go home.
Please don't. How's everybody doing today?
Good. Good. Right.
Yeah, starting a little later. Sorry, my kid decided to be a little asshole and
Seriously, what a dick.
just kidding.
Careful, when he grows up.
I know he's gonna take my Blu-rays and throw them on the roof and stuff. My wife asked me the other day. She's like, "When's enough is enough?" I was like, I don't know. You know, I watch them so I can escape from my horrible fucking job. So maybe that's enough.
Yeah.
Before we get the show started, I'm going to do a couple shout-outs. Jonathan Tiersten released his new album, Family, which you can download on iTunes. A little thing, though, is it's kind of hard to find because it's not Jonathan Tiersten, the 10 Tiers. It's just the 10 Tiers.
Oh, wow.
How it's put on iTunes is really weird. I had to actually click on the link that he put on his website to find it. For some reason, iTunes couldn't find it. So go to his website, jonathantiersten.com, and just click on it, and you can download it. It's only $9, and it's really good. And you can read the review of it on realnerdspodcast.com of the album. It's really fun. He included that Love is Strange that he did for the remake of Plan 9.
Oh, hell yeah. That was really good.
And it's a really interesting song. He phrases it weird. Not like in a bad way, but in a unique way.
Cool.
And I really respected that because that song's so well known that you got to kind of make it your own. My favorite song on there is I'll Be Home for Christmas Time or Sweetness. They're both really good songs. You can also buy those individually on iTunes. So support Jonathan Tiersten. He's a big supporter of our podcast, and he always sends me messages, and it's cool that a celebrity is a friend of mine. It's like the most bizarre thing when you get messages from him. Oh, yeah, a guy who's been in movies knows me and is really nice to me, invited me to his house, me and my wife, and he's cooked us ribs before, and just a nice guy.
Man, that was really good.
It was.
We should just show up at his house again and see what he cooks.
We should. And to ask his wife, hey, you don't mind, do you? Right?
Right, yeah. Could you just leave? We want to hang out with Jonathan. Is that all right?
Yeah. Also, our buddy Jeffrey Reddick, who's the creator of the Final Destination movies, also wrote a movie screenplay called Tamara. And he likes the movie, but he's not in love with the movie because they changed a lot of the elements to the movie. And you can now get an ebook version of Tamara written by Jeffrey Reddick where you can see how he wanted the movie to actually be. I have read the first 10 chapters of it, and it's pretty good.
Cool.
So look for that review really soon. And we're going to have an interview with Jeffrey Reddick accompany that review as soon as I get done with the book. Look for both of those. But you can download that on Amazon for your Kindle. And if you have a Kindle, you can actually check it out for free.
Oh, very cool.
If you have Amazon Prime. So I think you get it for a month is how Amazon does their ebooks.
Oh, neat.
But it's $3.99 if you just want to buy it. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out to a couple guys who've been very generous to us in the past and have some new things going on.
Very cool.
And if you're wondering what we do on this podcast, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience of the world. This week we actually saw separate movies, and I was actually going to include the movie I saw and the stuff we've been watching.
Okay.
But I decided that I was going to do a 2-feature movie podcast today. So I went and saw The Babadook. And by say I went and saw it, it's available to stream.
Oh, really?
On Xfinity only, though.
Oh, weird.
Or maybe iTunes too. But
Yeah.
I know it was the only place I found it was Xfinity.
Okay.
So I watched The Babadook, and you guys went and saw Foxcatcher.
We did.
So it's a couple independent movies.
Yeah. It's a weird fall. It's a really weird. It's been a weird.
Well,
year.
when I was talking to you guys, I'm like, do you guys even I didn't want to see anything this week because I didn't want to go see The Pyramid for sure.
I don't even know what that is. What is The Pyramid?
It's a found footage movie of people in a pyramid.
I don't give two fucks.
And hey, if they make a found footage movie that's cool, I'll go see it. But when they don't promote it, when it's not even considered nationwide release because it's only in 590 theaters or something tells me that the movie's not that good.
Did you see the trailer for that found footage time travel movie? What's that called? Project Archive or something?
Project Almanac?
Yeah. That doesn't look very good.
And I don't mind found footage stuff. It's just every time I see a trailer for it, it just seems so.
Yeah.
It just doesn't interest you. It's fine.
It's funny because there was an article on Slash Film where Peter Soretta, who I still really like and respect, put together a list of I think it was 53 different teaser trailers that he was calling the best teaser trailers of all time. That he had done, he had polled people and he'd done Twitter polls and things like that to try and figure out what should be on there. It was actually a really cool list, and Cloverfield was on there, and I was like, you know what? Hell yeah! That was, man. No matter how you feel about that movie in the end, which I really love that movie. Yeah, but that trailer was really cool.
You know what's a great teaser trailer too is the remake for the Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw. It's literally just a black screen and this girl running and hiding, and you can hear sound effects, and she hides in a closet. Then you hear a chainsaw. It's really effective.
Is that the Jessica Biel one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really effective one. I'm trying to think of other teasers that I really enjoyed. Friday the 13th Part 8 was really good.
Yeah, there's some obvious ones on there. So the original Terminator 2 one, where the robots getting made is on there. Yeah.
Hey, we got a new Terminator trailer this week.
We'll
talk about it in the news. Brad hates it, surprisingly.
I wonder how I feel.
I'm such a dick sometimes. I also want to give a shout out to Ed. Ed's been corresponding with me, and he says he's really enjoying our show.
Yeah.
He said he's listened to him straight. He's started on episode 1, and he's up to 40 something.
This is insanity.
Oh, do you want me to read it?
Oh, yeah, could you read it? Actually, my phone is dead, but he sent us a really nice message on Facebook.
Fan mail!
I've been really enjoying the show. With the new extended commute, I get to listen to more often. Since I'm not on top of the latest movies hitting theaters, I've been checking out back episodes. I'm currently on number 46, The Wrath of Khan. Awesome. I've yet to finish the episode, but I've already bought Comic-Con Episode 4, A Fan's Hope on Blu-ray, which I didn't even know there was a Blu-ray of that, so try and pick that up.
Yeah.
A lot of your recommendations are spot on.
Thank you.
And hearing of films that might have slipped through silently past my radar is a huge bonus. The reviews are often intelligent and insightful. You've encouraged me to revisit old favorites, give things a first or even second chance, and purchase more Blu-rays for my collection, sometimes just for the commentaries. I'm a fan. Coincidentally, I'm wearing this today, which inspired this post, and he's got the this year's Comic-Con T-shirt with us. It's DC villains.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think he and his friend are starting their own podcast called We Watch Movies.
Yeah, he was talking to me about it, and he asked. It was really weird. He asked me for it's nice, but he asked me for advice on how I sound so confident, and I never say things too often.
It's really easy. There's not 400 people in the room, so there's nothing to be afraid of.
I told him too. We always had the thing that we took from Kevin Smith is if you want to do it, just do it, and you have to talk like you know more than anybody else, anyways, because I do. So. Just have confidence in what you do, and I'll listen to his podcast when he does it. He said he's recording it, and he's trying to get a feel for it. And my advice to everybody is just do it.
Yeah.
Because no one can stop you, and you can talk about whatever the fuck you want. I mean, we talk about movies, but I can talk about, hey, this is what the real nerds are playing this week, because I was thinking about doing a new segment, what video games I'm playing.
Sure.
So right now I'm playing Smash Brothers. It's tons of fun. It took me a little bit to get back into it, though, because I haven't played it in so long. And, most fighting games have 5 or 6 face buttons I have to hit. Smash Brothers is 2, and it's just directional.
Yeah.
But you have to learn strategically how to launch people in the air and, dodge hits, and I'm really getting into it right now.
Are you playing it with a GameCube controller?
No, I'm using the Wii U gamepad.
Oh, yeah, the screen.
I still like it. I don't know why people don't like it. I don't think it's that bad.
Oh no, I don't think that one's. I mean, it's a little bit cumbersome if you're like it can hurt your hands if you're playing it for multiple hours.
Sure.
Because there was like a Sunday where I just played Super Mario World.
Because it's
like 3D worlds like all day. But yeah, I was just curious. I actually really fucking hate the GameCube controller, but yeah, people are crazy for it.
Yeah, well, I know you can buy a version of Smash Brothers that's packaged with the GameCube controller.
But you can't hardly find it right now.
Really?
Because it's it's sold out everywhere because Dan's been trying to get it.
Oh, the people at the GameStop that work next to me, I think they still have a couple. I'll go in there if he wants me to. I'll buy it.
Dude, yeah, pick it up.
Because I think it's only like $69 or something. I think it's like 10 more bucks than the normal game.
He's good for it.
I'm not worried about it.
Sold out, huh? Yeah, Nintendo's really hurting.
Right now, Nintendo, their games have been so good.
Yeah.
I really want to get Bayonetta 2.
Dude, me too.
And Bayonetta 2 comes with the Bayonetta 1 for free. Because I was going to buy the first Bayonetta on like PlayStation, and they get the second one for Wii U. But I'm like, oh, I get both of them? Sweet. So that'll be my next one.
It's just so annoying, like all the online stuff about like, is this the end of Nintendo? And it's like, yeah, they're quiet for 11 months out of the year, but one tentpole comes and they just like do their year in a single month.
Yeah,
so.
they're just really bad at third-party games. That's the biggest deal.
Yeah, that's the only bummer.
Like that's why Bayonetta is such a flash in the pan because like wait, there's a third-party game on the Wii U, but Nintendo kind of picked that up and saved that game. There wouldn't be a Bayonetta sequel if not for Nintendo. So.
Yeah, but they also, I mean, going back to the GameCube, the Resident Evil remake, Resident Evil 4, I mean, those are original Resident Evil 0. They had a time, I don't know why people are so afraid to develop for it, but I love Nintendo systems. The Wii U, I really didn't know if I wanted to get. This is a true story about this system. I was looking at the games, I don't know, it looks cool that it has a second screen. Is it really something I want to do? And I was at Target. And they had, it wasn't like a one game. They had on the touch screen, you could pick a game you wanted to play. It was basically a demo. And I picked Rayman Legends because I love Rayman. And when I started playing it, Ubisoft actually made the game where that pad comes into, that you have to use it. Mm-hmm. There'll be levels you actually have to like tap it and use. And I said, this is the most fun I've had playing a Rayman game in so long.
Right.
So the next day I went out and bought it with Rayman. So, I mean, I don't know why I doubt it all the time, but Nintendo makes high quality games because with that I got the Wind Waker version, and playing that game again that game's beautiful and brilliant, and in HD it's even better. So
cool.
Yeah, get a Nintendo. I'm playing Smash Brothers. Are you still playing Shadows of Mordor?
No. I beat Shadows of Mordor. I'm playing Cop Killer Simulator 2014, otherwise known as GTA 5, and it's good. It's too bad because early on they started making me feel like they were going to set up this because in this one you actually play as 3 different characters, and I thought that they were going to set up that like one of those 3 characters kind of didn't like one of the other ones, and that through a good portion of the game you were going to be like those 2 characters were going to be working towards each other and eventually collide and probably either kill each other or become best friends, and that just went a whole lot faster than I thought it would. But still, like they're telling a really cool story. You get to like set up heists and things like that. So like in the last one, there was the big bank heist about halfway through the game, and this one there's multiple heists like that, and you have to like decide how you want to pull off the heist. Like, do you want to do it, really sneaky, or do you want to do it smash and grab? Do you want to, use this plan where you have a submarine, or do you want to use this other plan where you get away on a truck? Like it's neat. And looks gorgeous.
I've never
on
been
the
a fan of
PlayStation.
the Grand Theft Autos. I could never get into them.
Yeah.
It just because the narrative of them is I've never been impressed. I had more fun not playing the game. I don't know if that makes sense. Just running around and just killing and hijacking and
yeah. Sometimes I just get home from work and I just like I jump into the game. I get into a car, run over some people till the cops start following me, and then I just start throwing grenades out the back window until like they kill me, and then I turn the game off. But I think starting in 4 and then in this, like I didn't really play any of the first 3, or really it's GTA 3 that's the big one. But so I didn't play any GTA 3. So I played 4 and I liked the story, but mostly it was just the gameplay that I liked. And this one, I think they've got a genuinely well-crafted video game
getting
story.
like perfect scores all the time. So
yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty good.
It's pretty damn good.
Were you ever a fan of the Grand Theft Autos?
Oh yeah, 3. Like when it came out, me, Adam, Cliff, we all came over to the apartment and just like for hours we didn't really play the story. We just like tried to figure out like what you could do in the game.
I remember
outside
Cliff
of it.
was really good at remembering the invincibility, like cheats in it,
cheats, yeah.
Yeah.
and the guns. Because
That's what we would do a
anytime
lot.
I would go over and I'd walk in, his dude was always spinning in circles because Cliff was inputting the commands.
Yeah, I would use the cheats, and I get my guy to jump on the back of a moving pickup truck, and I just shoot out the back. Like it would drive me around town, and I just shoot everyone on the sidewalk as it's
Nice.
going. Like just trying to and we just explore, trying to figure out like what stuff we could break. You know.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
So hopefully
that
next week
part's
on
so
this
good.
new segment of what real nerds are playing, I'll have my Captain Toad.
If Amazon ever delivers it,
Yeah, son of a bitch.
yeah,
They better give me something for free. They will.
yeah. Like your shipping. Well, that was already free.
Yeah, my shipping's already free, so I don't know what they do.
speaking
Maybe
of Amazon,
maybe give me an MP3 for free.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's really like I don't really want anything.
No.
I just want to let them know that I've had Prime for 4 years, and
Yeah.
I expect that
Dude,
stuff.
they're just fucking up a lot right now. I've had a lot of things right around this time, in the last couple of weeks that I ordered where it gets delayed for a couple of days, or which, dude, they're seeing hits like nobody understands,
No,
and they're
the thing-
shipping so much stuff. But
The thing
but
is,
they guarantee it.
it-
That's the problem.
it was shipped though. It's not that it was stuck
Right.
at like the facility.
Yeah, and
I've
it's a-
tracked that package.
You're right. Actually, so the truth is, it's probably not even Amazon. It's really UPS. Because you're right. All the problems I've had are exactly like that. Where
Exactly.
Amazon ships it. Because they send it pops up on my phone. Like they
Yeah.
send me texts constantly. Like, hey, we shipped this thing. Cool.
Hey, I got one today that Guardians of the Galaxy has been shipped.
Yeah.
So
And then I get stuff that's like, it's been delivered. And then I get to my house. No. Because it's like UPS delivers it to a local courier who's not necessarily working for UPS. Like,
yeah.
UPS is like using third-party people to make deliveries, and it just sucks. Yeah, it's bad.
Fish shake. I've been waiting my whole life. Well, since Super Mario
for
Brothers.
Captain Toad.
For Super Mario Brothers 2, Brad, back me up. I've been wanting a Toad-centric video game for
Really?
so long because he's my favorite character in Mario.
Interesting.
So I've wanted one for so long, and all day at work on Friday, I say, "Man, I just want to go home. I want to go home." And my boss was supposed to bring me. We have these digital menu boards, and I was supposed to insert new ones on Monday.
Mhm.
And he said, "Oh, I'll be there in the morning to show you how to put the new ones in because he's going on vacation." I said, "Okay, yeah, sure." It was like 5:00 and he hadn't shown up, and I was supposed to be there till 6. It's like, fuck this! I'm going to go home. I want to go play Captain Toad. And I leave. He came in like 30 minutes later. He called me. He said, "Hey, where the fuck are you, man?" I said, "Oh, we were really slow. I just left." "Okay, well, I left those on the desk for you." Him not knowing that I really just wanted to go play Captain Toad. So, and it
which
better,
you couldn't anyway.
I know.
yeah,
So
and you got home
and it was teasing me too because at GameStop I could see like right caddy corner and they have a huge poster in it, and he says, "Come play me, Ryan." I couldn't wait.
I just see this image of you staring across the counter, like at that Toad standee, and all of a sudden, like his head just kind of comes to life and says, "Like,
I'll be with you soon. Yeah. And I even went over there. I said, "Is there a strategy guide for this game?" I know I
fucking
don't.
strategy guide.
I know I don't need it, but I wanted
guys,
the
like,
art.
how old are you?"
1995. You want a fucking Prima guide for this?
And
thing?
honestly, when you asked for it, I got arrested because they thought I was running a child pornography ring. So be careful what you order.
right.
Also, besides seeing a new movie every week, we also talk about movies we've been watching, movie news, box office numbers, comic books. James hopefully has one this week.
Sure.
I read a shitload of Spider-Man comics this week,
Oh,
but I can't. None of them were that good. Not bad, but not good. What would that be? Mediocre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad actually.
Well-
Is like
It was. Here's the thing. It was. I'm missing like a lot of random Spider-Mans,
Yeah.
and usually the ones I'm missing are not well known.
Right.
So I'm getting. I did get Mark Bagley's first issue that he drew, though I didn't know it was his first issue, so that's kind of cool. It's not a good issue, but hey, his art's really good in it. But yeah, and that's what we do on this awesome show. Thank you for listening to us.
Bye.
Fuck it, we're out.
go see movies. Some of them are good. That's the end of the show.
Oh, I will give us another thing. If you have some favorite movies of the year, make sure you send the list to realnerds@gmail.com, and we'll read it on air. And we have, I'm sure, some video cassettes or
Yeah.
stuff we can send out to people.
Yeah, we'll send out some shit.
Yeah, we'll send out some shit.
Send us your fucking list.
So send us your fucking list right fucking now.
Because here's the thing. Your lists might be more interesting than some of ours.
I don't know. I think I'm going to surprise you guys with my list.
There are a couple things that are going to be surprising about mine, but I have a feeling that there are going to be a lot of repeats between yours and mine.
Maybe.
You know, I'm not going to put fucking Hunger Games on my list, but still.
Fucking Hunger Games isn't going to be on my list either.
Oh, good. What?
Hey, the last one wasn't on my list.
Really?
The first one was.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mm. If you don't send us your list, we're going to make one for you. It's going to be embarrassing.
Yeah, I'll be like Brad's list where he puts shit like that drug movie on there.
Left Behind will be your number one film of 2014.
Who? What? Where? Yeah, what do you want to start with, Brad?
Box office stats?
Cool.
This is the box office stats.
Hunger Games, number one again, 57 million. The movie we saw, Horrible Bosses 2, did 15.5.
Coming in at number 5. Still getting beat up by Interstellar and Big Hero 6. Which, good for those movies. I mean...
I wonder if it waited one more week this week when no other fucking movies opened.
Oh, totally.
But I was reading...
Would have been better.
I was reading an interview with Sony. I don't know, some guy on the Hollywood Reporter, and they said attendance for the week after Thanksgiving is notoriously one of the slowest weeks.
Really?
In movies. Yeah.
It seemed really busy this year.
So they're afraid, movie companies are afraid to put movies out at that time.
Huh.
Last year it was...
Prisoners?
No, Prisoners was October.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it was another movie that only did like 7 million or something open. Because this week there's like... Hunger Games will win again this week, but...
Yep.
Whatever, dude.
Last year, funny enough, you know what the number one movie was a year ago?
Games.
Hunger Games. Homefront and Black Nativity were the big releases.
Yep. Homefront. Hey, that movie's actually pretty cool. Written by Sylvester Stallone.
Frozen was
starring Jason Statham.
Was still number 2 a year ago. Man. Anyway.
That's what happens when you make $400 million at the box office.
Yup.
You have staying power.
They haven't made another one of those yet. Shouldn't they just be pumping out one of those a year now?
What?
Disney animated features.
They do. It's called Big Hero 6.
That's a Marvel movie.
It's still Disney.
Whatever.
It's from the studio that brought you Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen.
You know what's crazy? You know what the number 19 movie right now is? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Wow. That's insane. Anyway.
Which brings us to our DVD releases.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Segway score.
Very nicely
did
done,
it,
sir.
I did it, guys. Finally did it.
After 3.5 years, we had a good segue. Nobody fucked it up.
Well, I did screw it up by saying DVD releases. It's really Blu-ray releases.
No one fell off the side of a cliff while riding a Segway. Haha. Founder of Segway Burn.
Yep. Guardians of the Galaxy comes out this week, which do any of us not have it pre-ordered?
What version? I got the 3D version.
I got
Yeah, I
the
did
Steelbook
too.
version.
Oh, that's right.
Where's
you
the
fucker.
Steelbook version?
Best Buy.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them what it is. I forgot to order it, so I'm sure I can't get it now.
It's the awesome mix. So it's like a Walkman with like the tape inside it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Season 8 of Doctor Who comes out on Blu-ray this week. So if you're like me and you haven't been watching it because Doctor Who kind of got
Stupid.
bad. No.
I saw an episode of
I need
it.
to check it
I
out.
did too. I saw one with Andrew Garfield.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
It's
Dude,
like
Doctor
a
Who.
3-year
Man.
long running joke.
Doctor Who was good. There was a time. Under the Dome season 2, which I can't even believe that
There's
show's
a
been
season 2 to that show?
Yeah, it's on Blu-ray this week.
All right.
Yeah, my parents stopped watching like near the end of season 1 because they were like, "These people are fucking stupid." That's what my mom said.
That's what your mom said? That's
yeah,
awesome.
she was like, "These people are fucking stupid."
I love it.
Yeah, she swears a lot more now.
And she
Frank
gets high a lot.
Frank comes out on Blu-ray this week.
I'm still tempted to see that.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's on my list of things I got to check off before the end of the year.
I know. I want to buy it because it's only like $13 because I think the cover art's really funny too. But I don't know.
You know what else is on my list to see before the end of the year? Henry Connick Jr.'s Dolphin Tale 2.
Nice.
No. Criterion is releasing Time Bandits this week, which is pretty cool. Have you ever seen Time Bandits?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's good. It's a man. How do you explain Time Bandits to somebody?
It's about people who go through time and they steal stuff.
Well, they're like dwarves, right?
Are they stealing time? itself?
Yeah. Pretty much. It's an old Terry Gilliam movie. about these guys that are like.
He's obnoxious in real life.
Did you
Anyway.
meet him?
No, every time I see him in interviews, he talks about how much he hates America, but he shows up on American shows pimping the movies he makes.
Terry Gilliam always comes to Ryan's Thanksgiving dinner, and he always ruins it
Yes.
and
I always
talks way
say,
too much about.
Fuck, Mr. Gilliam, you're killing me.
He always spends like 20 minutes talking about the man from La Mancha.
And he always says, "Oh, Brazil's a great movie," and I always say, "Brazil's not that great."
Brazil? I don't like Brazil.
Neither do I. I think it's stupid.
That scene though with the desk is really good.
Meh.
Mork and Mindy, the entire series comes out this week.
Yeah, you got to capitalize on Robin Williams being dead.
Aww.
And season 4 finally.
Do you have to buy the whole set to get
Yeah.
season 4?
No, there's a separate one.
That's
They just
good.
finally did the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
he's dead.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a whole. I just clicked on like the collection site because that actually looks kind of cool. I used to watch that all the time when I would be sick from elementary school. They would show that during the middle of the day.
I watch Bewitched all the time.
Oh yeah,
I'm really tempted to get Bewitched. Right now, the seasons are $5 at Target. So, I mean, I don't know how many
think I've
seasons
ever-
there are.
Is
But
that-
They have a full series set of that. So
is that on Netflix? Maybe I
don't
should
know.
watch some of that because I've never watched a lot of Bewitched.
I don't remember if it's good or not. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
it in
don't
a
either.
long time.
Running Scared, the Gregory Hines Billy Crystal movie, is getting a Blu-ray release, as well as actually this isn't a Blu-ray release. This is I don't know if this is the first time it's been on DVD, probably not. But Stripped to Kill
Nice.
is coming out. It's so let me describe this to you. Okay, so in the background, there's this spooky drawing of some eyes, like in shadow, staring at you, and then in the foreground is a dagger pointed straight up, and it's being used as a stripper pole by a drawing of a half naked lady in a gold bikini. What's the tagline here? A maniac
Strip
is
or be
Oh,
killed.
shit. A maniac is killing strippers. Detective Cody, and then the next line is, has one weapon to stop him. Her body.
Nice. That sounds like lots of nudity.
Shit. Yep.
That's right up my alley.
So, this is your chance to get Stripped to Kill.
You also skipped over Family Guy season 14.
Did it
13.
deliberately.
volume 13,
Volume 13.
which doesn't even have cover art.
I
It's
have
coming
it.
out
Yeah,
this week.
I got it emailed to me. It's them looking down in Brian's grave. And then when you take off the slipcover, it's Stewie crying.
Nice.
I pre-ordered that. That'll be here. I can't wait to watch them a marathon, and then my wife gets really, really pissed off because she can't stand the show.
Understandable.
And then I come into bed and I'll say, "I love you, Laura." My wiener's touching your butt.
You're creeping me
God
out.
damn it.
Warner Brothers is also bringing out these things called Diamond Lux editions.
Yeah, you can get them now, like at retail stores.
Yeah,
Because I just got the Gone with the Wind one. They're really nice. Have you seen them?
Ooh.
I think I saw the Green Mile one.
If you want to, you can hand James. It's right on the.
Is it
above the 1001 movies you must see before you die? To your left.
Oh.
Yeah, they
Like,
got for
they're
Batman,
really
Gremlins,
thick. Yeah,
Forrest
they're
Gump,
really nice.
and Green Mile. Yeah, they're really dense.
Huh.
Yeah,
And they got something else. I forget what it was, but it's pretty special. It's not just the disc. I forget.
I wonder if
Um,
it's...
It's right on top of New
Yeah.
Super Mario Luigi.
Yeah, no, I see it. I'm just trying to figure out. I don't think it's as nice. You know, they came out with that like crazy Gone with the Wind box set earlier this year.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's-
is still.
That was only available at Target, and when I was at Target, it was $10.99. Here's the thing: is I got Gone with the Wind, which I know I've seen with my grandfather, but I was young, so I don't remember anything about it except the iconic scenes. So I don't know if I've really watched it. You know what I mean? I've watched it, but I don't know if I've watched it. And I've been doing that a lot lately. That's why when I was at Barnes & Noble this week, I got Maltese Falcon, Casablanca. I got Gone with the Wind at Target. Because I'm going to rewatch these movies and Vertigo. I watched with my grandfather. Because I watched them like on Turner Classic Movies or whatever it used to be called.
Yeah.
But I don't remember watching them. But I'm pretty sure I remember them. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. Cool.
So if I have 4.5 hours one day, I'll be watching Gone with the Wind.
It's good. I reviewed it earlier this year when I saw it for the first time in my life. So
I have a feeling it's going to be like the first time I watched it.
yeah. You're like, oh yeah, Scarlet, kind of a bitch.
Yep.
Yep. What's next, guys?
News.
God, you guys are pieces of shit.
It's real news.
That's why you can't host this show.
Well,
I ask you. You have to think lightning quick.
No, we almost timed it, so we said it at the same time. It was awesome.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was scripted.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
it was brilliant.
Thank you.
New James Bond title.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
Is
okay.
that
We
constant
can,
for you?
we can start there.
yeah. Spectre. I love that title.
Yeah, which is
And
cool.
and the logo.
Yeah,
Well, the teaser logo
logo's
for it.
awesome.
and the Sam Mendes. That has to be kind of good, right?
Yeah.
He did all right with
well,
Skyfall.
Yeah, he did all right.
No, Skyfall's. I think Skyfall's my favorite James Bond movie ever.
It might be. Yeah. I just
That-
rewatched it recently. It's
That-
really good.
That and Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah,
old one. The
Casino
new
Royale
one.
might be.
The other like James Bond movies are me.
Yeah, whatever. it's a very different kind of movie. Like when you watch the old ones, you have to watch them with that sort of mindset of like, oh yeah, these are kind of kitsch now, and
The crazy thing is it's due like next November, so
yeah.
that's a
Well,
short amount of
they've
time.
been working on it for a while. It's supposed to start filming like next week.
I think it's Monday.
Yeah. So that's they've just kept things fairly under
I
wraps.
know,
It sounds
hey,
like
you know what's cool about being us? Did you guys read the email that we got sent from Sony about it?
no.
No?
Oh, sorry. You can. I logged in and I watched that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they sent us like a press kit.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Finally.
Man.
I know. I clicked on it and I watched it while I was working.
No, I just think it's interesting. Like, so Batman and Superman wrapped their production,
Yeah.
but they're still 2 years away from releasing the final movie, whereas
Right.
I think because they're scared.
Spectre is just now starting to film principal, and it's due in November.
Well, because with Spectre, you don't have to do like as much CG as they're going to have to do in
I guess.
a
Yeah.
movie that has a flying man.
I really
and a
hope
plot.
Daniel Craig says provocative in the new trailer.
Provocateur.
Because that's one of my favorite lines from any trailer.
Yeah.
Secret agent. Provocative.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, it is provocative.
The yeah, the cool thing about this in my mind is that so they have Mr. White coming back for this.
That's racist.
Who is the guy? He's the guy that is at the end of Casino Royale, who's also like a part of Quantum of Solace. My hope here, because I've always said that there is a much better version of Quantum of Solace out there, where they reveal that guy is like stealing water in order to keep third world countries down, to incite violence and grow Spectre overall, and like make sure that Spectre stays in power. I really hope that they like go back and sort of retroactively change what happens in Quantum of Solace, so that Quantum of Solace is suddenly way cooler than it actually is. I mean, you
There's
still
some
have
cool
to
moments
watch.
in Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, but the end of that movie is still like an
Yeah.
effeminate French guy fighting James Bond with an axe.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. I like having Spectre back. It's good.
Do you guys see the trailer for Terminator?
I did.
I thought it looked pretty sweet.
Dude, I'm totally on board. I'm not even kidding.
I think it's
like
'cause it's like Back to the Future 2-ish to me.
sure, whatever, dude. Like at least they're doing something kind of interesting with it, right? Like it sucks that Terminator Salvation's not as good as it could have been, and that they can't do the future war movies that I really want them to do, because that's what I want to see. I don't really give a shit about the time travel part anymore. I just want to see robots fighting people.
But they had that sweet scene in the trailer where it's all those exoskeletons that are like firing missiles and
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, that looks badass.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm on board.
My fear is that that's only the first 3 minutes, and then they shoot him into the thing, and then it's just like a weird, screwed up version of Terminator 1, which is great because hold your horses for a second. Terminator 1 is not a great movie. So if you want to go back and fuck it up,
Someone just
I'm
threw a
fine
rock
with
through the
that.
window.
I know.
Yeah, no, Terminator 1's not that good. Like
That's
if you
a
go
good
back,
movie.
it's okay.
I watched it I think this year. I thought it was pretty fun.
It's the only Terminator movie I don't own.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
It is my least favorite Terminator.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
I would rather watch Terminator Salvation.
2 is way better than 1, but I don't know if I'd put 1 that
Yeah,
low. Huh.
right. Anyway,
But really,
I think it
Arnold
looks cool.
missiles?
Sure. that is definitely the cheesiest part of it. But we also don't know how that ends. Dude, if that ends with like him flying through the helicopter, all of his skin gets ripped off, so when he lands like a bullet and he stands up and he's just a robot, that could be cool.
He lands like fucking Superman where he puts
Right.
his fist down. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know it's going to look terrible in CGI, though.
I don't care.
Yes, I do. But some of the stuff like Slash Film went back through and compared the CG shots of Arnold with the actual shots from back in the day. They actually, I mean, when it moves in the trailer, it's not quite good, but the movie's also not done yet. But they went to some lengths to make sure that that
See, it's
stuff looked
badass.
pretty
There's like
similar.
3 different versions of Arnold Terminator in it, though.
Yeah, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, because there's
I
like weird old man.
felt like some of
I don't know.
The dialogue was delivered pretty cheesily,
Yes,
which makes
yes,
me feel like it's
I'm
a huge joke.
It's a fucking Terminator movie, and you can say what you want to say, but even from Terminator 2 on, no, from all of Terminator movies, they've had pretty cheesy ass dialogue in them.
I thought 2's just all badass. Aw.
No, 2's got plenty of cheesy dialogue.
It does. What about at the end where he's like, "I need a vacation"? Funny, but I don't know if it fits the tone of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the way, I love the name Genesis.
Really?
I'm going to start doing the opposite of everybody else on the internet, where I'm going to say I love things that they hate.
See, I'm just going to be honest about everything and say that I think the trailer's cool, but that I think Genesis is the fucking stupidest name. It's
I like
clearly not even true. Like, it's not even like
Isn't he going back to the beginning to stop that one Terminator?
I don't know, but why is it spelled with a Y?
Because it's the company that's
Yeah.
secretly behind Skynet.
And it's
Oh,
probably
God,
Genius
I don't know.
System, and it's combined. That's
Man.
just so smart.
Now, so here's the other thing is that I actually think that, what's her name? Amelia Clark?
Emilia Clarke?
Amelia Clark. Yeah. She looks badass in that movie.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of scenes where I'm like, yeah, she kind of looks like a little bit of a Linda Hamilton-esque,
Yeah.
you know, like she looks like she could be a younger Linda Hamilton.
She's great in Game of Thrones. She's completely naked.
She's not bad in Game of Thrones. It's just Game of Thrones is horrible.
I like Game of Thrones.
But yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think the movie looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm genuinely now. I'm not the most excited about that movie by comparison to like I'm more excited about Jurassic Park. It's not like I'm saying that this is my number one movie next year. I think it's a cool idea. You
Yeah,
know?
Slash film article you were referencing?
Yeah.
They were claiming that what's his name has to be naked to go through the transporter because only organic matter can go through the transporter. That's how
Yeah.
you wrote it. It was only organic matter can go through. It's like,
Yeah, that's not true.
aren't cotton underwear organic?
Yeah, and
Well, nobody's ever wearing cotton underwear when they go through.
but
No,
also
I'm
the-
saying
Oh,
the
I see what you're
article
saying.
messed up.
Yeah.
Because
Well, and also because that can't be true because the Terminators go through and
yeah,
their skeletons
Metal.
aren't
Yeah.
organic.
well,
so
metal's organic. It's like everything's organic.
okay, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
is
Only
plastic.
right. So only plastics won't go through.
Well, because don't they
here's
have computer chips? I'm sure it's made with plastic.
I don't know. You know what's not very well defined? Time travel in Terminator movies. So,
See, that's
yeah.
the thing is, like, I don't care about that stuff. Just tell me a cool story.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
It's,
Show me some bad. Now, so I was about to say, show me some really badass action sequences. The flipping bus at the end of the trailer, not that cool.
Especially since in that trailer, obviously something else must have happened, but
Yeah, it's miscut.
the way the trailer cuts it, it's like a Subaru Legacy cuts it off and sends it doing 2 more flips than the
Right.
semi in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
probably driven by a couple of lesbos.
It's less. Wow, it's
That's
less
a lesbian
feasible.
car, dude. It's Subarus.
It's less feasible than most of the car crashes in like a Michael Bay movie.
Meh. I don't. It's
It just
fun.
I just don't think it looks that good.
No,
Honestly, the flipping like it.
it's way too
It's been
cartoony.
done. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Brad. Well, you're our resident JCVD correspondent.
Write that down on my
So
thing.
why don't you tell us about what Jean-Claude Van Damme's doing this week?
They asked him to come back for Kickboxer, not as his character, but as the mentor to his character.
Nice.
Wait, whoa. So is this like a Terminator Genesis thing where like he's gonna go back and then he's gonna already be there to teach himself how to kickbox?
No, there's no time travel involved.
Oh, okay, well, all right. Now then I'm out.
They're probably simply just throwing out the entire old movie,
Okay.
writing a completely new movie with the new title.
So
with
it's
the
a
same
remake.
title.
Okay.
It's probably not just a remake. It's probably just like a whole new movie.
It's a reboot.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
different premise. Because I think in the description they said like he's the new guy who's going to play the character Jean-Claude played. He's going to be avenging his brother's death. But I watched that movie over the holiday.
Uh-huh.
His brother doesn't die. He gets paralyzed in the ring, and he shows up in a wheelchair as a consistent character at the movie.
Well, I think you're missing the point. I think they're saying that you're in a wheelchair, you want to die.
Oh my
Jesus Christ.
God.
I'm just kidding. It was too easy of a joke. Too easy of a joke.
So yeah. So for the new one, they've invited Jean-Claude Van Damme to play the the mentor character.
Because there's somebody else originally, and then
Yeah, I forget his name. But
Yes,
it took place in Thailand, and
yeah,
his mentor was Thai.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know he's some famous martial artist. I can't remember his name though.
Yeah.
I read the article and now it's like slipping me.
So it should be interesting that
But it sounds
this
like
new guy's kind of a French mentor.
after the career resurgence brought on by Jean-Claude Van Damme's Damn Van,
That's what I'm saying.
he is starting to get cast in some pretty big roles again.
Jean-Claude Van Damme's damn remake, son.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, there's a couple more things that we'll just run through really quick. So, Ryan Reynolds is going to play Deadpool. No surprise.
No surprise, but it's did you watch the little thing they did?
Yeah,
I thought it was really good.
I don't even like Deadpool. And I thought that was
I don't
cool.
either. I
Yeah.
like when he's teamed up with Spider-Man.
And so I'll say this: Ryan Reynolds has been wanting to play or wanting to be in a Deadpool movie for so long that honestly, I'm kind of excited about the idea of him getting to do it. Just because, like, I respect anybody who has that much passion about something that I don't really care about. Does that make sense? Like the fact that he's so on board of like, dude, I could be really cool.
He's
Deadpool.
making up, kind of how Chris Evans made up for Johnny Storm, and now he's Captain America.
Right.
Now he can make up for being Hal Jordan and
Yeah.
be Wade Wilson.
Or
For all those
matter,
people who don't know, Green Lantern and Deadpool, I just dropped some comic book knowledge on you.
for that matter, he can also make up for the last time he played Deadpool in the Wolverine movie.
Yeah, it's not really his fault though.
No, it's not. But still. Also, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be Doctor Strange.
Officially.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Some
Whatever.
people, as people are such assholes. What's the thing too with the Black Stormtrooper? Like, people are upset about that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that
If
about?
anything, they should be upset because they're supposed to be clones, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, wait. Hold. Okay. All right. So, oh my God.
You actually read? I don't know. I don't read anything about it, but I read that people are upset because what's the dude's name who plays it? He's from
Yeah.
Attack of the Block.
Right.
He's a black actor, and people are up in arms because he's black.
why
Hold
can't
on.
it be black?
We haven't
Yeah.
seen the fucking movie. Do you remember when Luke Skywalker put on a Stormtrooper outfit?
Well, he wasn't black.
It doesn't matter. My point is, it doesn't mean that like all stormtroopers in these movies are black underneath, or that like that could just be that at some point he puts on especially because he's on Tatooine. So maybe he puts on a stormtrooper outfit to escape from the Empire and ends up crash
And, like,
landing
it
on
doesn't- who cares?
Tatooine.
Because to me, also,
So surprising. yeah.
the clones, maybe they don't exist anymore, and the stormtroopers are all people from that the Empire has put into there.
Recruited.
Which is totally canon, because the understanding now they've thrown out a lot of the canon. Like when they're making this movie, they're throwing out a lot of the like canon that came after Star Wars. But the understanding I always had growing up was that the stormtroopers were that like some of them were still clones, and that some of them were just people
Yeah.
at this point, because they weren't still cloning.
Didn't
people.
Obi-Wan stop that factory, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'd have
That's
to
why it's
replace
referred to as the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Because they're not cloning anybody.
So who
Like,
cares?
yeah.
I can't believe that was a thing.
Oh, dude, people are just fucking pissed for no goddamn reason. You know what I thought of this week, and I'm super excited about this now. You know the lightsaber that everybody's pissed off about. I think it's really cool, and the reason I think it's really cool is because my expectation, or at least my hope, is that with Sith, like that Sith is going to fight differently than everybody else. That he is going to. Because it's like built like a broadsword, I think it'd be really cool if he used it like a broadsword, like two-handed, and like when he hits people with it, like there is this
Just cleaves them in
physical
twain.
force. No. Like if he hits a Jedi and their lightsabers
I was reading that's
hit,
Luke Skywalker.
That's cool. Whatever. But whoever it is that swings that thing, when they hit somebody, like if they actually like pushed him back, like like the way that you know, medieval knights smack their swords
I'm
against
down.
each other. Like, if that was the kind of force and the way that that guy fought, I just think it would look cool on screen.
Yeah.
And then it would make sense that he's got, like, a hilt on his lightsaber. Like, that's cool.
The movie looks badass. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm going to see
whatever.
it, and it's going to be awesome.
Of course.
Because it's not going to be episode 1.
Yeah. And I think the thing you're talking about
Just can't not get a jab in there.
Nope.
the thing about it being Luke Skywalker, are you talking about the thing where they said that they were confirming that that was Luke's lightsaber?
Yeah,
Because that was
something like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. What you're talking about is actually, so the sound effect that they play at the end is the sound effect from the first time.
okay.
So that's what that was.
Nerd alert.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was a thing. Like,
Right. Like everybody's like, I know that sound.
I
know
never
what
noticed
that
it
is.
sounded different at all ever.
There is a fandom to Star Wars I'll never understand.
Oh yeah.
I love the
Dude.
movies. I really do, but
No. Star Wars fans are their own worst enemy. Like, it's why, and you can go back to when Star Trek came out. I was so proud of Star Trek fans for the fact that, like, there's a movie where they fucking blow up Vulcan, and the vast majority of Star Trek fans were online going like, this is really a great movie. Like, it's too bad that there's not more, like, space politics, but you know what? It's still pretty fucking good. Like, yeah. Star Wars fans are not doing themselves any favors.
I thought of you of that Star Trek thing is really funny.
What?
That little Star Trek video with Captain Picard where
It's the Christmas thing?
yeah, the Christmas thing. I thought of you, Brad.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, shut up, Wesley.
You look like you got something, Brad. What do
I
you
really
got?
wanted to say that.
Are you done?
Good
No,
old.
I still got more stuff, but
Yeah,
what do you
keep
got?
it- I'm just waiting to see what you missed.
Motherfuck you. All right, how about you fucking go, and I'll tell you what you missed.
All right.
Fight.
So Roberto Orci decided to drop out of Star Trek 3 directing.
Yep.
And they're thinking of maybe getting Edgar Wright to fill in.
Which would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder what he'd do.
Something creative, I'm
Direct
sure.
it?
Hopefully he won't make Chekhov in charge.
Yeah, they're saying, people are suggesting, like, Nick Frost for Harry Mudd. But I'm like,
Nah, I mean,
don't
they
go back to
already-
the original. Like, I think it'd be cool if they incorporated, like, some alternate Next Generation plot. Like, I think I saw something that John Delancey might be in it. So that they would take, like, a Next Generation plot with Q and mix it with, the classic Trek, which I think would be a cool crossover.
Yeah. So the thing about this that scares me is that they're still talking about the version of the script where William Shatner shows up, which I have said that I want them to get away from the whole time travel-y thing.
Yeah, he's mean to George Takei. What's that about?
Well, and
Oh my!
and so
Leave me
my,
alone, Bill.
my fear is that if they rush into a different director, that they might sort of stick with some of the stuff that they have in the script they have now that isn't really what I want to see. Like they might just rush through it and be like, okay, hey, here's this thing, go make it, because we got like no time. Because they're getting down to the line if they want to get it done in time.
I feel like Edgar Wright's such a perfectionist, though, that probably wouldn't happen.
Right. Oh, totally. But that's probably why they're not actually going to hire him, is because if he had Ant-Man for forever, and by the time he was able to actually start making it, because he is such a perfectionist, they ended up sort of kicking him off. One way or another, they ended up kicking him off. Like, he's not. It seems like, I don't know the guy, but it seems like he's not really built for those kind of movies. Whereas a J.J. Abrams at least has enough clout that when he comes in, he can do things like say, yeah, no, fuck you guys, I'm going to push this movie back a year and you got nothing to do about it, right? Like, I don't know. It sort of scares me. But what else you got?
Christopher Nolan is on the short list for directing a book adaptation of the book Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
You got that one too?
No, I wasn't going to talk about it because it's a rumor.
Yeah, it's just like one of the few books I've read that's
Yeah.
going to be turned into a movie. So I'm like, interesting. I can't see him doing it though. Like, I feel like Nolan only wants to do his own stuff now.
There's a couple other people on that list, and I can't remember who they were. That
Zemeckis.
Zemeckis actually.
Also
sounded
Edgar
like-
Wright.
Yeah, I would think
Edgar
Zemeckis
Wright would be good.
really cool.
Yeah. For that story.
Yeah.
And then some comedians I know in Denver got their TV show on True TV. It's called Those Who Can't. It's about some shitty teachers in a inner city school who are just terrible people.
Wait, but is it scripted?
Yeah.
It's
But
the
it's
first
on-
scripted show on
On
True TV.
All right.
I didn't know anything that
There
about
goes-
it. I remember reading the article, seeing the headline on Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah. Adam Caton Holland, Ben Roy, and Andrew Orvidal, who are part of the Grawlix comedy troupe here in Denver
Good for
often. They had it was one of the initial Amazon pilots. And it got one of the highest ratings, but Amazon still passed on it. So it's getting a second life at True
If you
TV.
make talented or if you make good things, people will find it.
The thing is, though, Amazon gave them $50,000 to make that pilot, and True TV is making them make a new pilot. So that episode won't be part of the show. They're going to get a new thing, and they've got some new producers who are making it more dramatic because it was more kind of skit based. Short gags, so there's probably going to be more of a narrative arc in their new version, but good for them. I'm jealous.
Yeah, that sounds
Really jealous. Where's the real? There's Poncho on TV.
I know, right? Give me some of that money. Gimme.
cool. Okay, so here's what you missed, motherfucker.
Yeah, fight.
So we got a complete cast list for Suicide Squad this week,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting. Yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
right. It is. Yeah, thanks, Brad.
This week was huge. There's so
yeah,
much
I know,
to.
There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think the weirdest thing here is, well, no, dude, everything about this
Tom
list is
Hardy
fucking
playing
weird.
one of the characters.
Yeah, Tom Hardy is going to be in another Batman movie.
Yeah.
As Rick Flag, who I don't even know who that is. Do you know who that is? I don't know.
I don't
Whatever.
know much about Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Well, and
I know
yeah.
Harley Quinn
So
and Deadshot. I
Jay
guess,
Courtney is going to be Boomerang, which Boomerang was one that I thought, like, dude, you're not going to put Boomerang in there, right? Like, whatever. But maybe he'll die.
I can't believe
Especially
DC
'cause
and
it's
Marvel
Jay
both
Courtney.
have a Boomerang character.
Yeah.
And both not cool.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, Will Smith is Deadshot, which is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see
So
if that
that's
really
most
happens.
of the movie's budget right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh hell no.
Jared Leto is the Joker, which, okay.
Yeah.
It'll at least be a very different Joker.
I can't imagine the Joker teaming up with people. Like, he's such a solo
I'm
actor.
guessing he's.
I don't
not.
think he will.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing
I
it.
hope not.
I'm guessing the first half of the movie is going to be Harley Quinn and the Joker, and she's going to ditch him.
Sure.
Or something.
Yeah,
I
or
don't know.
even like you saw.
Continue to talk, guys.
You guys saw Arkham Assault on Arkham, and it had the Joker in it, even though he wasn't on the team. Because yeah, you're right, dude. You're not gonna put the Joker on Suicide Squad. But actually, that might be a really cool story, right? Like if you introduce the idea of the Suicide Squad, and then also introduce why the idea of the Suicide Squad doesn't work if you put somebody like the Joker on it, because then he's still gonna just go fucking crazy because he's not gonna follow your rules. So yeah, and then the Enchantress is in there as well. We already talked about the fact that Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn, which I think is awesome. She'll be really good. Now they just need to make that movie fucking rated R, which they will never do.
They won't, yeah.
And then the very last thing, actually, there's two more things.
Were
but
they
I'll-
thinking Oprah Winfrey for Amanda Waller?
dude,
That's
that
what
would
I
be
heard.
really good.
Would it?
Yeah. Man, she hasn't acted in a long time. To bring her back in a WB DC comic book movie.
About horrible people as
Right.
the heroes?
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey pulls all of the nightmares of Gotham together in order to make them fucking kill people by putting bombs in their necks. Like, yeah, that'd be pretty ridiculous. I'd see that movie. And she's yelling about how her husband beats her, and that's why she has to do it. The Color Purple, Brad. Don't give me weird looks.
You know, I bought that movie, like 2003. Still haven't watched it.
It's really good.
It's
really
hard to.
good.
I'm sure it's awesome.
Oh man.
Spielberg doesn't usually let me down, so.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's hard to, like, get a Saturday where I'm like, you know what, I want to see something really harsh and depressing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I hadn't seen Schindler's List for so long.
Yeah.
Cool. So one more thing before we move on is that they are making, and I won't blame you for missing this because this wouldn't have flagged your radar. They're making a dramatized TV version of Dear Zachary.
Actually, I did see that news.
Yeah. So have you seen? You've seen?
I didn't.
No.
It was on my next Netflix queue for a while, but then I eventually got to the point where I felt like, again, I heard the subject matter is so depressing that I was like, I'm not sure I'm ever going to want to watch this, really.
Yeah. So I've seen Dear Zachary. I have said before that I think Dear Zachary is an amazing movie or documentary, and that I also wouldn't wish anyone see it because I like most human beings too much, and the emotional toil of watching that film is just, that movie wrecked me for a while. Like I don't know that many movies have had that kind of an emotional impact on me ever. So it's sort of weird. When I first saw it, I was like, dude, fuck you. Like, don't do this. And then, as I read through the article, there is this little block of text or quote from the guy who made the documentary saying that, people had been approaching him for a while saying, we want to tell this story. We want to tell this story. We want to tell this story. And so he finally sort of caved in, and what he said was that he feels like if you told a dramatized television version of this story, that he could just sort of get the word out, because there is this underlying part of the way that Dear Zachary ends is it talks about this movement that was occurring at the time in Canada in order to change some of the Canadian laws to avoid allowing criminals to escape the U.S. into Canada and still have certain rights. Because part of the problem of that of the story of Dear Zachary, and somewhat spoilers, but fuck, like seriously, this woman escapes to Canada, and Canada allowed her to keep, even though like people in the U.S. were trying to find her, they allowed her to keep guardianship of her son, which was not a really great idea. So what he's sort of saying is that it would probably be really good for him to allow them to tell this story to kind of get the word out there about like, hey, this is kind of screwed up and we need to change this. So I'm interested in it. I hope they do a very respectable job of telling that story. I think in my mind, I think you produce it like on HBO, you make it one season, then you never touch it again. So, whatever.
Anything else?
No, but if you want to keep going, we can do Comic Corner.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
So,
Yeah, don't worry, guys. He won't wake up.
it's all right. That's all right.
I turned off the light to set like Christmas mood light.
Oh, okay. So this is actually still kind of real news, but this is under the I'll believe it when I see it category, which is that this week AMC officially ordered a pilot episode of Preacher. So somebody's going to make an episode of Preacher, which is pretty crazy. This is still that Evan Goldsmith, Seth Rogen adaptation.
Unusual people to make it. Are they making it serious?
Well, I mean, as serious as Preacher is. So I'll give you an example. So people should, this is your chance. Go to Colorado Quince Cards and Comics, pick up the first trade of Preacher.
And the Jean-Claude Van Damme soundtrack.
And the Jean-Claude Van Damme soundtrack, and Real Nerds Pod
Yep.
Show, if there's still a copy of it there. And anyway. So Preacher is serious in some respects, in that it's like super gruesome and things like that. So here's a good example. One of the villains from the first arc has a son who lovingly by the rest of the book gets referred to as Arseface, because the book was written in the mid-90s. So after Kurt Cobain killed himself, this character, who was like a teenager or whatever, decides to kill himself and shoot himself in the face with a shotgun, but he fucks it up, and so he lives the rest of his life with this very deformed face. And as the book goes forward,
I was picturing the ass faces from South Park.
I don't remember the ass face, but so they call him that. Oh, it's fucking horrible. They call him that because he has this very puckered mouth because he doesn't have a lower jaw. When they tell that story, it's very serious, it's dark, it's horrible, you feel kind of gross and you don't feel good about reading the story. But then as the story goes on, like, he becomes a fucking rock star, and there are scenes where he's like singing music, but of course all of his speech is super deformed, and so it's like it's very self-aware of how over the top and kind of jokey it is about some of the subject matter. Like, it kind of does make sense that it's those guys writing it, because they'll hopefully have some idea of how to handle that sense of humor, and not be, I don't know. Like I said, I don't believe it. I just don't believe that somebody's
Your
making
Teenage
this.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's some news.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady are going to be the new Turtles movie.
What? That's not what I was going to say.
Oh, well, that's what I read.
Spoilers.
They announced the director for Turtles 2. Well,
Oh, yeah?
Turtles 2.02.
Michael Bay?
No, the director of Earth to Echo, David Green, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Dave Green?
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen Earth to Echo, so I have no idea. But the fact that they chose him makes me think they're going to do Dimension X stuff in the next one, which is what I asked for the first one.
Yeah, I read that Bebop and Rocksteady are going to make their appearance in that.
Hopefully more than that. Hopefully Triceratons and Neutrons will be in it, too.
And I really hope they come. What are those like drill things that came up through the ground?
Newton modules?
Yeah, and the door opens and Rocksteady says, "Say yo pues, todos."
And some 8-bit music kicks in.
That'd be the
and
greatest entrance in a movie ever.
that would be a good start to the movie. Like, the turtles are, like, just rolling down the street, and all of a sudden the earth opens up, and the mutant module comes out, and just these two new villains you didn't even know about, and then later on, you find out that towards the end of the movie, it's revealed Shredder was controlling them the whole time. And
so awesome.
No, Shredder's dead. Didn't you see the end of the last movie?
no, he got away. If you really watched it, he was still alive.
Maybe we all
honestly-
fell asleep.
Honestly, there's a part of me, like a part of my heart, that's just happy that you still have any hope about Terminator after how much you hated, or about Ninja Turtles after how much you hated the one this year.
I wouldn't say hope. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like the next one either. But it's an interesting, intriguing bit of news that they announced that guy as the director.
Yeah,
And
cool.
And I was originally saying like, what they really need to get is new script writers because the script was terrible. But
Yeah.
those guys wrote the Mission Impossible 4, which was awesome. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of those guys.
Writers aren't always the last say in what you see in the script on screen.
But they provide most of the structure for the general idea, and it's up to the director to convert it to the screen.
And on a movie like that,
Adrenaline.
on a movie like that, there's a lot of producers between the director and the writer.
Yeah.
So they may not have necessarily gotten to do what they wanted to do with that movie. Which, you remember from back when people were talking about what that movie was going to be, and people were leaking stuff about the script and things like that. Like, that script probably got rewritten and completely thrown out so many fucking times that if you actually talk to those writers, they're probably going to tell you, like, dude, no, we had cool ideas and these awesome set pieces and all this stuff, and none of it is in that movie. So,
Still made almost $200 million.
sure, whatever.
Yeah, people are stupid.
Yep. Since people are stupid, instead of going to see bad movies, you should just go buy some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or Preacher or Spider-Man comics at Colorado Recordings Cards and Comics.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome there.
This week, Jesse told me that the first movie sucked, and I broke the plate I was eating off of and cut his neck.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think the only palatable Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that they've ever made is TMNT.
Get out. Get the fuck out of here.
I let that. I
It's
let
a good
that
movie,
breathe.
but get the fuck out.
Look, you just when you said turtle suck.
I said fuck in front of your baby.
My son's like, ooh. He was actually rocking a Ninja Turtles outfit the other day.
Nice.
Aw.
Yeah.
Starting him off right.
Aw.
Actually, my little niece Taylor got it for him. It's pretty cute.
Aw.
It's the classic cartoon, and all their heads are on it. It's pretty cute.
Cool.
Pretty cute.
Are we like 2 hours in and haven't talked about what we've been watching yet?
No, we're like an hour in and haven't talked about it. You want to talk about what we've been watching?
Makes sense. It's the only thing left.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad,
Dude.
what have you been
Wait,
watching?
whoa. Who's the host here?
I don't know. You got a fucking baby.
So he's fine. Look at him. He's asleep.
Kellen,
I know what you've
what-
been watching.
What's
That
Kellen been
baby.
watching? Don't just push the mic into
Wow.
his face.
Okay, so me and Kellen this week,
Yeah.
we watched a couple things. I got the new Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Yeah.
You said
Really?
that last week?
They're really good. No, that's what coming out this week.
Oh,
So
yes.
I got them this week.
Oh.
I told everybody the $8 on Amazon. You get 19 cartoons. That's a steal.
Yeah.
Really cute, really well made.
They're
It's fun.
modern ones,
Yeah.
just so people understand. They're not the old,
Right.
when Walt Disney was making them. They're these new ones.
Wait,
Yeah.
Walt Disney's not still making...
He's dead, James.
It's been dead for like over 50 years. Crazy, huh?
He'll always
Yeah.
be alive in my heart.
Yeah, always.
His
That work will always live
his
on.
Nazi brain will always be frozen for eternity in my heart.
I watched Expendables 3, the unrated cut.
Had you seen it before?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought
Yeah,
I
we saw it in the
that
theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the unrated, not in the theater.
I didn't notice anything different.
Great.
I don't
one. I mean,
remember.
it was made to be PG-13, so it's not like
Yeah.
there was going to be a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor that...
Well, I was hoping that they would like add in CGI blood everywhere and
Heads
Dude,
exploding.
it did not do well enough for them to do, like, extra CG after the movie
I
was
know.
done.
I looked on the back and it said the extended unrated cut was 6 minutes longer, but I don't remember a scene where I'm like, oh, that wasn't in the movie.
It's just like a 6-minute sequence in the middle of just some random woman just holding her shirt up
Yeah,
for
that'd been
6 minutes.
awesome.
That's it.
I still think the movie's kind of fun though. I mean, I like seeing Harrison Ford and Schwarzenegger together. I mean,
There was
It's a bummer. There's like an hour of it just searching for these new Expendables.
I know it's interesting. I was reading a lot of reviews for it whilst watching it, and
always a good sign.
yeah, they were saying that a lot of the reviewers liked when the new young hip guys came, and that's actually my least favorite part. I liked when the old guys kind of got involved, and
Yeah.
And Mel Gibson's good in it.
Weren't they saying like they're maybe getting Jackie Chan and somebody else for 4?
Yeah, I did read that.
Because they're still doing 4
Yes,
apparently.
yeah, Stallone was, well, it still made like over, like $200 million overseas.
And he was apologizing for it not being
Yeah,
R.
not being
Yeah, he came out and said like, yeah, that was a mistake. Totally
It was,
a
and
mistake.
it's weird. I still think the movie's enjoyable. It's definitely not in my top 10 this year, but
Spoilers.
I still had fun watching it. I also watched Cocktail, starring Tom Cruise. Continuing my what I call cruise-a-thon, and that movie
Didn't we already talk about that? Is that the one that's got topless Leah Thompson in it?
No, that's All the Right Moves.
Oh God.
Cocktail
all those
has
weird
a
80
topless
ones were-
Elizabeth Shue in it, and
Did he make a movie in the late 80s where he wasn't like
No.
banging women?
dude,
I guess
let's
not.
see. Let's,
Has he
let's,
made a movie
let's
ever?
knock down the
where-
list. Rebecca De Mornay,
Right.
Leah Thompson, Elizabeth Shue,
Yeah, he
Kelly
like,
McGillis.
he had like a wish list that he was just checking them off one at a time.
This movie's tough. It's so stupid, but it's entertaining.
Uh-huh.
Like they make out bartending is the coolest job you could possibly ever have, and
Dude, I don't know if you've been to bars lately, but it's fucking cool. Not really.
it's all a bunch of hipster douchebags, but in the 80s,
Who don't want to serve you.
yeah, so Tom Cruise he gets out of the army and he's trying to get a job on Wall Street, and no one will hire him because he hasn't been to college and he has no experience. So he's all dejected and he's going home, and as he's passing, he sees a bar that has help wanted sign in it, and in it is an Australian guy, and he's going to take Tom Cruise under his wings to be a bartender. And the first night, guys, Tom Cruise is horrible, just horrible bartender, and he's like, I'm going to get fired. This isn't going to work out. But you know what? The Australian guy gives him another chance, and soon they're running the hottest bar in town, with listening to songs like the Hippie Hippie Shake singing and twirling bottles, and
Did you download Kokomo like right after the movie?
I already have it. And so after that, they get picked up to go to Cell Block, which is an upscale bar in New York.
Wait. So some representative from Cell Block came down to their little bar and was like, "You guys are so awesome. You got to come work at my place."
That's really what happened, and he handed him a business card. That's really what happened. And then in all these bars, he gets up and does these speeches that rhyme for some reason. I don't know. And he'll say stuff. This is the best shot you'll ever have. Now go home and have some of that. Whatever he says. Obviously I'm not Tom Cruise. I'm not a number one bartender. I can't rhyme. And he bangs Gina Gershon in it, and Elizabeth Shue, and some old chick. And, yeah.
I've never known Tom Cruise to be a poet.
Yeah, he is in this one. He really is.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's see, it's not...
Is his game, hey, have a sip of my cocktail.
Yeah,
God damn.
it should have been.
I just wrote the remake.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie. I don't know how to describe it, but
I think not a good movie is probably pretty
but the
adequate.
thing is it's still entertaining. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if you know movies like that where they're not that good, you know.
So is Creature, but you know.
But I think Cocktail's better than Creature.
All right, good.
But yeah. So yeah, I watched Cocktail, and the last thing I watched was Jerry Maguire, which
Good
I haven't
movie.
seen in a long time, and it's one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies.
Hmm?
I forget as I was watching it how much I have watched that movie because I remember so many beats from it.
Yeah.
But I still love that movie, and he's really good in it. And I don't know, it's one of his roles where it's like vintage Tom Cruise, you know, he's a sport. If you haven't seen it, you should see it, but he plays a sport agent who writes a mission statement, and it leads to him getting fired by Jay Moore, like a really young Jay Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I think the movie was made in 96, so he tries to get all these clients, and the only client he's able to save is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s Rod Tidwell. And Cuba Gooding Jr. ended up winning an Academy Award for this.
Which is weird. I don't know.
It's an interesting character. I think it's just because it's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's special.
Yeah, I think the problem is like the Oscars have gotten into this place where all the awards are given to most acting, not best acting.
Mm-hmm.
So to look back at somebody who won it probably for like genuinely a good role or for being a fairly good actor, it's kind of surprising. You go like, oh, it's not over the top.
Tom Cruise is way better in that movie than he is. And
right.
I mean, he was nominated, but he didn't win. I don't know who won that year. But he's really good in it, and he's plays such a damaged character. The story is well written.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
The kid is cute.
It is. He is. Yeah, I just really love that movie. I mean, I don't know, is it an iconic movie now? Because there's so many bits in it that, like, show me the money and you complete me and...
I think it was on its way to be. I don't know, like, if you talk to kids today, will they know those lines? I don't know.
Yeah, it's really well made.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely one of his best movies.
Yeah.
Best actor, Nicolas Cage for Leaving Las Vegas. It's with Elizabeth Shue.
Hey, Tom Cruise fucked her. But yeah, so if you haven't seen Jerry Maguire, that movie's great.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't nominated.
He wasn't?
No.
Lame.
It was Anthony Hopkins for Nixon, Sean Penn for Dead Man Walking, Richard Dreyfuss for Mr. Holland's Opus, and then Massimo Troisi for Il Postino.
Motherfucking Sean Penn. I mean, yeah, there were four
because he was dead.
There were four other people on that list, but fucking Sean Penn is the one that I'll
Maybe
pick.
he was nominated for the Golden Globe is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But he should have been because he owns that movie.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good one. It's really good.
It is, and I love, too, the little intercuts of his agent where he's telling him, like, life lessons. It's pretty funny. Yeah, that's what I watched this week.
Yeah, it's a really good Cameron Crowe script.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Brad?
Whoever.
Rock, paper, scissors?
No, just go.
Oh, yeah. Thought we were going to have to Rochambeau there. I have to get back to my list because I looked that stuff up. So, continuing my Jean-Claude Van Damme-a-thon, I saw... Let's start with the shitty one, Swelter.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, came out this year. It's straight to DVD streaming. So I saw it on Netflix, and I envision being able to own all Jean-Claude's movies, but there's a lot of DVD streaming type ones that I just don't want to own, including this one. It was so boring, and it felt like a student film script that's shot really well, right? Which was confirmed at the end when it said written and directed by this guy, whatever. Jean-Claude's not in it very much, which is unfortunate because he's the only really interesting character. It starts out with this bank heist where this team of guys steal something from a casino in Las Vegas, get away for the most part, but one of the security guards finds them on the roof, and there's a shootout. The security guard gets shot, one of their guys gets shot, but lives, and then they all, get split up. And then some of them get arrested, go to jail, one guy escapes. And then 10 years later, Jean-Claude and his other buddies get out and try to track down where the money that they almost got away with went, because the police didn't find it, and none of their guys had it because they all went to jail. So they try to find that one guy. You don't know who it is, initially. It's kind of the mystery of the movie, but it's not that interesting. Because it's pretty obvious it's the guy who's now the sheriff in the town because he had amnesia. And then Alfred Molina's in it as the doctor who's constantly drunk because he's
Dr.
got
Octopus?
some troubled past. And that's the thing is, all the characters, when I say it's by a student writer, it's because all the characters have to have some witty dialogue exchange,
Oh, okay.
And he also apparently has strong opinions about God because he always throws in jabs, which is fine, but the movie's not about that. So, a church gets burned down in the movie for no real good reason to the plot. In conversations, there's certain characters, there's a preacher character in the town, the preacher character is very celebrated, but he's also kind of a playboy. Like,
That's why the church got burnt down. You can't be a playboy and a man of God.
so it's just it's like that preachy, like, okay,
Yeah.
guy, we get your opinion, whatever.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's trying to makes the characters cooler and darker, but just makes them douchebags.
Yeah.
There's one character who's like the gunslinger, and he's an asshole because he wants to rape this girl, like this young
Whoa.
16-year-old girl who's constantly like
Is it like,
escaping from her mom's house at night and going to the bar.
how is it written? Is it written as like Entourage style dialogue where like every time he's on screen he's like, man, I want to rape her. Like just really upfront about it. Like, oh, dude.
No.
You know what I want to do today? Go rape that woman.
She's out with her boyfriend and like she's playing pool, so her ass is like pointing at him all the time, and there's just shots of him at the bar like just ogling it, and then because he's so suave, he just goes right up and like starts saying stuff in front of her boyfriend or whatever, and so they almost have a fight. And then later on, like she goes back to the bar one night and he just happens to be there, and then he tries it again, and he's a little more successful this time, but like he gets her upstairs and then starts beating her around and stuff, and then Jean-Claude comes in and kicks that guy's ass, but then he gets stabbed.
Jean-Claude
So, yeah.
gets stabbed?
Yeah.
Does Jean-Claude die?
Yeah, spoiler.
So how many minutes do you think he's in the movie?
10 minutes?
So it's just like that movie Snitch with The Rock, where they make him like front and center and he's in it for 10 minutes and they blew all their budget on him to be in it for 10
Yeah,
minutes.
you don't see him in the heist because they're all wearing masks. And then after they get out of jail, he's just sitting in the car in the dialogue scenes. And then the other stupid thing is, so early on when they're riding to this town, this sleepy town, there's this state trooper checkpoint, right? And they're checking cars, and there's 3 of them. And then their car rolls up, and the cops just kind of stand there going like, well, this doesn't look good. And then, you think the logical thing was like they'd put up their hands, like stay in the car, like get all prepared and stuff. But they just stand by their cars watching these guys roll up, and then they let them step out of the car all at the same time. Like the 4 doors open, they each step out,
Right.
they stand in front of the car, they all line up in front of the car like it's 3 on 4, like they're about to show down. And of course, they're the fastest draw, so they just kill all the state troopers. But it's like, what state trooper just lets 4 guys step out of the car that
Yeah.
look intimidating like that, and just like, yeah, we'll wait to see what they do.
Yeah.
No, you get down to the car before, like, one goes to the car, he probably gets shot, and the other 2, take out the, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just like stuff is built up in the movie just to look cool when it's not.
Huh.
Yeah. And because I hate the movie, I'll spoil it. You find out that the money, because the guy who had amnesia, who's the sheriff now, he forgot where he put it, and after he kills the last guy in like a traditional like when the 2 cowboys shoot like at high noon.
Gunfight?
It's a gunfight.
Duel.
but-
Duel.
Yeah, sure, a duel.
No, it's a duel.
Yeah, but I think there's another word for it.
Shootout.
It's shootout. It's on par with like showdown,
Mexican
whatever.
standoff.
Anyway, after they have their fight, like the camera pans up over the city and then over this water tower, and then inside the water tower is the bag of money. Yeah.
There's a really funny Mexican standoff in Eastbound and Down Season 2. I just don't get it, man. I am like hurting inside.
Yeah. So Swelter, not that interesting. It was long and boring, and yeah, like a lot of characters just saying stupid dialogue. So yeah, I don't think I'll be owning that, even though I like Jean-Claude Van Damme. It sucks because like his character is the most interesting because he's having second thoughts about this whole getting the money.
Yeah.
Like he's telling the guys like, after being in prison for 10 years, I don't think I want to risk going back. I'm finally out and I want to live my life. Like I just lost 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
And so he spends most of his time like at the bar, just drinking and talking to the bartender woman,
Right.
who was also years ahead in age too. So he's just kind of like, maybe just being a regular guy would be okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to go try and hunt down this money. I also saw Universal Soldier.
Okay.
I think for the first time all the way through, and I like the making of documentary a little bit more. Like, yeah, it's got some cool action stuff, but I don't like the rest of the movie is Jean-Claude is on the run with this reporter chick, and they kind of just
She
go
gets
from
naked in it, right?
No, he does.
I don't.
What?
Is there any naked chicks in it?
I don't think so.
God,
I don't remember.
I don't remember that movie at all.
It starts off with
Because if you could remember anything, it would be the naked chicks.
Yeah.
It's actually like rational thought.
I don't know how you forgot that John Claude's naked because it's a lot.
Is it really?
Yeah, because he has to cool off. Because when they
right. That's right.
So if you don't know what Universal Soldier is, Jean-Claude and Dolph Lundgren are part of this program where the military revives dead soldiers and turns them into kind of cyborgs. The technology of how they're not really, it's not like a Terminator where it's like metal endoskeleton and like they're actually just like something about the juice or whatever they pump them with. They make, if they overexert them, they'll overheat.
It's got electrolytes in it.
It's so I think they're hyper animated. So basically they're running so fast to like not be dead that like that's why they overheat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yep.
Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin science.
Nope. I know.
Anyway, so the beginning of the movie is they're like at the Hoover Dam trying to stop this hostage situation. And so they send all the Universal soldiers in. They take out the terrorists and everything's good. But the reporter wants to find out more about like, one of the Universal soldiers got riddled with bullets and he's still alive. Like, what the hell is that about? And then Jean-Claude, the military sends the Universal soldiers to stop the reporter from snooping. And then Jean-Claude has like Vietnam flashbacks because him and Dolph Lundgren were friends in Vietnam, and then Dolph Lundgren went crazy and started cutting ears off of people.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And taking hostages, and then Jean-Claude had to stop him, and then they both died in that fight.
Wait, but isn't it set in the future?
Yeah, they're put like
It's in the future, but the people they're using as Universal soldiers are
Like died a long time
died
ago.
a long time ago. Yeah.
So when they start off, are they like, decomposed skeletons, and then they rebuild all their
No, they're
flesh?
preserved. When they died in Vietnam, they preserved them somehow.
Yeah,
They don't really explain how, but
Oh, so they did like they
the guy comes in and it's like,
when they were killed, they put them into a box and knowing like one day
yeah.
we're gonna mad science these motherfuckers back to life.
Jerry Orbach, who
Weird.
was from Law and Order, he's the original inventor of the program. So back in Vietnam, there was some directive that said like, if you find a freshly dead soldier, pack him up and send him to us right away because we're going to use him in the program. So the military finds Dolph Lundgren and Van Damme pretty early, like after they killed each other. So they get sent off, and then the story picks up in 1990 or whatever, where we are, where apparently they've
in the far-flung future of 1990.
Yeah.
That's why I laugh too whenever I watch Predator 2, and it takes place in 1997 Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and they have these weird guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Not even close.
No, we didn't get that fast.
When's Escape from New York take place? Like 1994?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's like 1999,
Oh, really?
something like that. Yeah, it's in the 90s.
I was gonna say it's probably like 2000. It was
Anyway,
early enough that
but yeah, so anyway, like Jean-Claude saves the reporter, and then he overheats because he pushes the truck for like 100 miles to the motel, and so he overheats, and that's why we were saying he gets naked and he has to sit in a bathtub full of ice.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But then he like freaks out and he like runs outside in the rain.
because he's naked and
I forget why he ran outside, but
Doesn't
like
he
that
have
was
like flashbacks? I think he suffers from flashbacks from Vietnam, doesn't he?
yeah, that's why, because he sees like modern day situation, like the hostage situation was reminiscent of the situation he was in just before he got killed in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So he started like seeing that, and they were giving the Universal soldiers drugs to suppress their memories, so stuff like that wouldn't happen. But basically, they kind of go lax on it, and Dolph Lundgren starts remembering stuff, and
Yeah, that's right. And that makes
goes
him
crazy again.
Crazy, yeah. And now that movie's starting
Yeah.
to come back to me.
And so he's basically after Van Damme because like, he defected from the team, and then he just regresses into that thing of like, hey, you're not a patriot. I'm going to track you down and make you part of the unit again. And that's why he's chasing him the whole time. It's not really about the reporter for him. It's my teammate is defecting from my group. And then, yeah, of course he kills like most of the scientists. And there's, like this,
Makes
semi
their
chase on the Grand
ear
Canyon.
necklace. I remember that.
Yeah. Next 5 years. Shoots a bunch of guys in a supermarket. The weird, probably the worst part of the movie is the finale when after you think Dolph Lundgren went over the edge in the Grand Canyon in the semi crash, the reporter takes Jean-Claude back to his family home in Louisiana. And then, surprise, the villain's not dead. They went from like the Grand Canyon to Louisiana really quick.
Yeah.
And then the last fight scene is so fucking long and repetitive. And on the documentary, they talk about like, we thought it was too short, so we went back and shot extra stuff to make it longer. I'm like, you should have left it short because
this isn't They Live, guys.
yeah.
Oh, dude.
But the cool part is Dolph Lundgren gets stuck in like a tractor, and then Jean-Claude says some clever line and pulls the switch, and then he gets chopped up and sent out like in a hay barrel of flesh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long description of Universal Soldier. And then the last Jean-Claude I saw was finally Lionheart. I found it on DVD last night.
Nice.
Full frame, unfortunately, because the only way you get widescreen is on that 5-pack Blu-ray. But that was pretty okay. It was a lot like most of his movies from that same time, where he's like a foreigner who comes to America and gets roped into like Fight Club style situations where he can make money by fighting people, and he's fighting to get money to help his family, and that's like the plot of most of what's going on in those movies. So, and this is just another one.
Well, if it's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, which it works. I mean, I like seeing him. Like, he starts out as a French Foreign Legion guy. They're like, you can't go home. His brother gets set on fire because he was like trying to buy drugs, and but he was a cop, but he was trying to buy drugs to do drugs, and then the gangs found out that he was a cop, so they burned him. That left his wife and kid without him, and then she wrote to Jean-Claude, and he's like, well, I got to go home and take care of my family, and the French Foreign Legion's like, no, you're going to stay with me. But the guy's German. So he's got,
Well, maybe.
And then Jean-Claude's like, you're being an asshole. He's like, well, I guess you need time in the box in a German accent. And they try to take him to the box, and he kicks all their asses and gets away. And he's in Africa, so he just walks to the coast, apparently, through the desert. And they're like, he's not going to make it. It's the desert. But he makes it. And then
Does he swim across to America? That'd be awesome.
No. He jumps on a boat, and he, once again, like in the quest, he's a stowaway. And he goes to America, and then he's walking through America, like, because he had to beat up the guy on the boat to get off the boat. So he's like all drenched. He's walking through, like, it's like bright sunshine, but he's like shivering in his wet clothes. And he's just like, America. Yeah. And then he just wanders into this street fight.
Nice. As one would.
Yeah. And his name's Leon. And so, like, the Michael Buffer of the group is like, once he kicks the one guy's ass, he's like, here's the lion, king of the jungle. And then, like, that's his fighter name. Then they take him to this rich woman who basically runs fights like this across the country. And they try to turn him into like a professional, throw him in the circus, but he resists and stuff. And eventually he only does it because he wants the money for his family. And then he beats the big guy at the end, who's actually the same villain from, not the same character, but the same guy who played the villain in The Quest.
Really?
Yeah. So he beats that guy up again.
Maybe it's like a
the
Kevin
Quest
Smith movie.
And actually, now that I think about it, in both those movies, he kicked his ass a lot more in the finale in both of these movies than Jean-Claude deserved to win. So, but yeah, Jean-Claude wins just by kicking in this one. He's just getting his ass kicked, beat on the ground.
He's a good kicker.
And then he finds out that the rich woman and then his buddy who took him on bet against him. He's like,
oh man.
He's like, and you guys didn't believe in me, so he gets up and he just like roundhouses the guy and then just keeps kicking him in the face until he falls over the sand. Oh, I can watch Jean-Claude do kicks all day. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, when he does punches, they're like these wide outside punches from like left, right. Not very fast, but like,
but he does some, like, in Death Warrant, he does some kicks are pretty sweet. He does this one where he's on his back leg and he kicks like 5 guys with it. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, he's on the ground and he's not as tall as like the 6-foot guy, but apparently his leg can extend like Dalsim. Because in this movie, the guy hovers over him and Jean-Claude just like puts one foot up and is able to reach his face.
You can't. Hey, if you're in striking distance of his feet, it's like a rattlesnake.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So yeah, and then last thing I watched was the Muppet Christmas Carol, which is
My
Awesome.
wife watched that this week.
it's cute.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great.
What's more amazing is the production, like all the models of the city that they have. Like, there's not really CGI, I don't think. If anything, it's just green screen, but all the stuff they had to build to make that movie as like grand as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And actually a lot of the shots too were really clever, like the angles they chose, and for puppet movies, great.
Did you watch a version that had the Michael Caine song in it?
Were you singing?
Yeah.
Well, he sings
When
at
he
the end,
sings-
but I can't imagine the movie without it.
No, so there's a section when he goes to with the Ghosts of Christmas Past, there is a song there with when there's a scene where he breaks up with the woman, and they sing "The Love Is Gone."
Maybe not.
Yeah,
And
I have it. It's on
and
the
he brings
Blu-ray.
into it. Yeah. So there's it's really weird.
Is it short?
No,
Hmm.
it's not. It's a long scene.
I saw it on
Michael
Netflix, so
Caine's
maybe
in
a DVD thing.
Yeah, for some reason, like I've seen, I remember last year watching it and being surprised when they skipped it. So I don't remember what, I gotta go figure out what the deal is with that. It's one of those things kind of like Pulp Fiction, where every time you see Pulp Fiction, it's not quite the cut you thought it was going to be. Like there's some section kind of missing from it. So anyway.
What'd you watch, James?
I've only got one quick thing to go over, which is that last night I went and saw Nightcrawler, which is it's a Jake Gyllenhaal movie where he plays a guy named Lou Bloom, and when you meet Lou Bloom, he's basically just a thief. It's actually kind of funny. He's actually
You know we described this movie already, right?
no. Why did
I saw it a few weeks ago.
Oh, well, I wasn't here. Okay, so cool. Well, then I will skip through this really quick. The movie's basically like a modern version of Network, and it's good. I really like it. But it's this dark.
It's hard to like the main
somewhat-
character.
Oh, totally. But it's this dark, somewhat like sometimes kind of funny satire of what news is now. They even talk about, like, at one point he even throws out the statistic about the fact that like 74% of an actual news program is just local gruesome crime that's only there to drive ratings and not actually like that other small percentage is the stuff that people should actually be paying any attention to. But his character is really interesting. Cause he's this piece of shit thief that does horrible things throughout the movie and just gets worse. I mean, he's a sociopath. And he just gets worse and worse as the movie goes on. But he is so bizarrely articulate, and seems smart. It's almost like he's a con man, but there's no con going on, right? Like he's just able to sort of either lie to people or maneuver himself around them that they do what he wants. And it's fascinating. It's a really, interesting and mostly exciting character to watch him play. And there are genuinely some scenes in that movie where I laughed out loud. I just thought it was hilarious. Because any of the scenes with Rick, did you talk about Rick at all?
Was that the name of his buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the scenes because he basically hires on a homeless man, to
Drive him around.
be his partner and navigate for him, and pays him $30 a night to do all of this. And the scenes where he sort of talks to Rick or tries to get Rick to not worry about getting a raise or anything like that. And he just sort of, same kind of thing. He sort of talks circles around Rick in order to get Rick to just agree to shit. It's genuinely pretty funny sometimes. But yeah, no, it's good. It's not as good as Network, so I make that comparison. Network is awesome. This is like a tiny little microcosm of Network. It's talking about one specific issue, whereas Network was talking about just how much news is the fucking worst thing on television. So I definitely think people should check it out. I don't know that it's going to end up on my top 10 list, but it's definitely worth discussing, I would say. Yeah, I don't think you have to see it in theaters, but just for Jake Gyllenhaal's performance, I think it's worth seeing. So,
Yeah. That car chase is pretty sweet at the end.
yes. Yeah, actually, that car, yeah.
And what happens after that is pretty devastating. But
Yeah. That whole scene is, in fact, a lot. I mean, it's a really
a lot of tension in that movie.
Yeah, it's really well. Like when he first shows up at the house during like the big crime, that sequence is tense for sure. It's a really well made movie.
Yeah. The couple that was sitting next to me in the theater, though, left like halfway through because it's disturbing.
Oh yeah. The couple sitting behind me in the Alamo, just far enough away that I couldn't get their attention, just felt like talking the whole fucking movie.
Did you write them up?
No, because I saw it at like 10:15, and I was one of maybe 6 people in the theater, which means that there was not a waiter coming through that theater very often at all.
Yeah.
So like we put up a thing early on to get some popcorn, and then I don't know that he came back until I think he came back at one point just to see that nobody else wanted anything. So no, I didn't. I thought about it, but it was like, by the time he would do anything about it, the movie will almost be over.
Yeah.
So,
I like that rule, but it doesn't get enforced very well.
I had it enforced really well. My only like really bad experience with it.
Yeah, I've used it once and it worked, but at the same time, like I think some of it is just that I either don't use it, or more often than not, it's like the person who's making noise is so intermittent. Like, they're not doing it so constantly that I feel quite like...
Even if you write them up, like, they'll get the notice and then they'll watch and it'll just be at the right time that they're not doing it.
Yeah, or even that it's like, well, like, they're talking every now and then, but it's not like they still shouldn't be doing it, but I kind of feel like an asshole if, whatever. So... It was good.
Last night at Foxcatcher, of course, the last 2 people who come in the theater sat down right in front of me, and they were the talkers.
Right.
Yeah.
I went. Did you see it at the Mayan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went tonight, and it was downstairs. So I went to like the 4th row because at the Mayan I like to sit pretty close to that screen.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nobody else around because a lot of old people go to that theater, and a lot of them don't sit close to the screen. So it worked out pretty well. Speaking of which.
This week we saw 2 movies. You guys want to go first or want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
This week I saw The Babadook, which is an Australian horror film. Ryan, should people see The Babadook? Yeah, it's the best horror film of the year.
Really? Well, wait.
Yeah.
What are the other good horror movies of the year?
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what's
from?
Yeah, exactly. So,
all right.
Annabelle?
yeah, I haven't seen it.
Deliver Us from Evil.
I really like Deliver Us from Evil, but
this is a better.
This is better.
That movie is almost not a horror movie.
Yeah,
it's more of like a thriller.
But this movie is really effective. It's a slow burn horror movie, where it's interesting. It's made in Australia, and as I was watching it, I said, "This has American remake happening soon," written all over it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Will they still call it the Babadook when they do?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But anyways, here's the trailer for the Babadook.
Where'd you get this?
On the shelf.
If it's in a word or it's in a look, you can't get rid of the Babadook. A rumbling sound, then 3 sharp knocks.
Babadook, dook, dook.
That's when you'll know he's around. You'll see him if you look. Nothing bad's gonna happen, Sam.
Did you think that about my dad before he died?
He sees things as they are, that one.
I promised to protect you if you promised to protect me.
Oh my God. Did he hurt anyone?
The boy has significant behavioral problems.
This monster thing has got to stop, all right? It's just a book. It can't hurt you. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
You don't have to be fine, you know.
Just a bit stressed at the moment.
All children see monsters.
Not like this.
I want to report someone stalking me and my child.
You can't get rid of the Babadook.
You can bring me the boy. You can bring me the boy.
The movie is pretty intense, and it's what I really liked about it is you don't get this very often in horror. Is it's written and directed by a female.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's a little different. And it I forget the people who played the characters, but anyways, the lady in it, Amelia, it opens with her in a car accident, and it turns out while she was in labor, her husband was killed in the car accident that they were in. And so she has her child, Sam, and so she's a widow, and Sam has mental issues where he's...
Because of the crash?
No, it's like he's socially awkward.
Oh, okay.
He's
like got Asperger's.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that, where he's convinced that monsters are going to get him. So every night he has his mom check underneath his bed, and inevitably every night he runs into and sleeps with his mom, and he grinds his teeth and he annoys her, and she doesn't sleep at all, and so she has resentment towards her son. One, because her husband was killed in this car accident, and two is he has a lot of
needs,
exactly, and so she has to read him a story every night, and
so she decides to read him a scary one about the Babadook.
Here's where it gets interesting. So she usually reads him Hansel and Gretel, scary little things. Anyways,
yeah, the one. This woman's an idiot,
and so it's really, it's pretty almost 30-40 minutes into the movie when he grabs the Babadook book. It's called Mr. Babadook, and the drawings in it. Did you guys ever read Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
No.
Mm-hmm.
The drawings in it are amazing. You should definitely check them out. In fact, they're so macabre and so scary that they did a 25th anniversary of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they changed all the art in it, and purists threw a fucking fit. And because in it there's monsters and blood, and it's a book made for children. I'll have to show you guys. I have them over there. But anyways, it's like charcoal drawings, and it's a pop-up book, and she reads it, and it's like a little nursery rhyme, and it scares her, and it scares her little boy, and so she puts it away. And the Babadook is called upon when you hear like knocks. So slowly through the movie, you start hearing more knocks in her house, and she picks up the book again a couple nights later, and she's going to get rid of it, and she tears it up and she throws it in, and catches on fire. And the next day, of course, there's a knock on her door, and the book's put back together. But when she flips it open, there's more pages in it, and the pop-up goes from the Babadook infecting that lady, then the next page is her killing the dog, then the next page is her killing her son, and then the next page is her killing herself. And the Babadook hasn't even made an appearance yet in this movie. And so she freaks out, of course, and she says someone's stalking her. They go to the police station, and she sees all these things that look like the Babadook, who kind of wears like a stovetop hat and has like razor hands. And he visits her one night, and he like goes inside of her. So the rest of the
what? Wait, goes inside of her?
Yeah, like she opens her mouth and he like goes in her.
Okay.
Whoa.
This is the one part where the movie kind of, because I think it's low budget, is the Babadook is like going from across the ceiling, and it looks really CG. But it's still effective because the way the movie is shot and the way the tension is built throughout the movie, because it's a slow burn. It's not quick. It's, you see this mother slowly deteriorate throughout the movie. So even though the Babadook is inside of her, and the Babadook possesses her, she might just be suffering from insomnia.
Yeah.
She's not, because, there's some freaky moments in this movie where, because first you kind of have sympathy for the mom, and then when the mom is possessed by the Babadook, you start to feel a little bad for this kid, because the mom will sit downstairs all night long and just watch TV, and it's like really creepy. I don't know how to describe it, but she'll just watch TV and flick the channels, and her son is terrified to go down, and they have this old nice neighbor next door, and at one point, I think it's like the second or third night she's been possessed, he sneaks downstairs and is calling the old lady to spend the night at her house because he's too afraid to stay with his mom. And she just goes crazy, and she tries to kill her son. The movie's fucking intense. And I won't tell you how it ends, but is it a happy ending? I'll give you a hint. In the story, you can't get rid of the Babadook. No matter what you do, he always comes back. Why I say they're gonna make an American version of it is because the movie takes chances at the end that I think a studio film and American horror would never do. Not that I'm not saying that I think it actually kind of loses steam at the end, but it's still really well told, and it's still a really good movie. I think it's at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like even critics love this horror movie. The director of The Exorcist said it's the scariest movie he's ever seen.
Wow.
There's some pretty intense moments in it, and I think it's because they did such a good job of you having sympathy for this mom that when she's possessed by the Babadook, that she just turns, it's pretty scary because her son, you feel bad for the kid because he's just socially awkward and he doesn't know what he's doing. But yeah, it's creepy. Like when his mom starts chasing him because she kills the dog. So what I told you what happens in that pop-up book is it starts unfolding that way.
Right.
Like, oh my God. And so she's chasing him and she's going up the stairs and he gets all these weapons that she wanted him to get rid of. So he's like shooting her with a dart and stuff, and it's pretty intense. And then I won't spoil it, but there's some great moments in it. Great moments. So I definitely say go see the Babadook or stream it or however you can get it, because I think it's only in like Los Angeles and New York. But
cool.
Yeah, check it out.
Very cool.
You guys saw the Foxcatcher.
Yeah. Brad, should people go see the Foxcatcher?
Yeah, it's go see it. It's a good movie. Well, I don't know about theater. I mean, if you can see it in the theater, great. You won't regret it, but you could watch it at home and just be fine if it's available on streaming. I don't know, but it's interesting and disturbing. It's kind of boring in some spots. There was times like I was hoping it would just kind of move on, but God, the end is just so unsettling. Yeah,
true story.
Yeah,
true story.
I looked up that I wanted to check up on that stuff, and they took some liberties, but it's I know why they did it, because the way they did it is much more theatrically interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree, and almost on every point that I think it's definitely worth seeing. Whether or not you need to see it in theaters, I don't know. I think it's worth seeing for the performances. I think
everyone's great.
The story they're telling is pretty interesting, but I don't know that I agree entirely with how they tell it, if that makes sense. But anyway, we'll get into it. Here's the trailer for Foxcatcher.
Do you have any idea who I am? Why I asked you to come here today?
No.
I wanted to speak with you about your future. What do you hope to achieve, Mark?
I want to be the best in the world.
I am a patriot. I want to see this country soar again. Coach is a father. Coach is a mentor. Coach has great power on the athlete's life. I'm going to do great things, Mark.
I'm going to give you everything I have.
So, basically, Channing Tatum and Mark Ruffalo play brothers who are both
wrestling champs.
They've both won gold medals for wrestling.
But Mark Ruffalo is regarded as the more prominent brother.
Yeah, like you can just tell very early on that he is sort of the all-star, and that nobody really, like, people know about Channing Tatum, but he's not in the spotlight as much. And because he's the younger brother, right?
Yeah.
It seems like it, so maybe that's why, but whatever.
In the older one is he's sort of retired. Like, he's not really chasing gold where Channing Tatum is.
And the truth is, the older one honestly has more of the talent, right? Like, he really is the coach. He's the one that's always telling Channing Tatum's character what he needs to do, but in order to be better. And so all of a sudden one day, Channing Tatum's character gets a call from the DuPont family. And what's his name? Steve DuPont? No,
John.
John DuPont.
Eagle.
John Golden Eagle DuPont, wants him to come and work on the Foxcatcher team, which is basically Foxcatcher Farms is this huge, like, it's not even a farm, it's just an estate basically owned by the DuPont family. And what you start to learn is that Steve Carell, or John DuPont, he's a really rich guy who really wishes his mom would love him and has never really had a friend in his life. And
his mom's into horses and like horse championships, and he always wanted to do wrestling, but she wouldn't let him.
Yeah. So he gets really close with Channing Tatum's character, and so this is where it gets weird. Because my feeling is that Channing Tatum's character is kind of a red herring, and we spend a lot of time with him. And the movie's not really about him. The movie's really about Steve Carell and Mark Ruffalo, and mostly just about Steve Carell. And so I feel like I was invested in Channing Tatum, and he just, by the end, he kind of just sort of disappears.
Yeah.
He just sort of goes away for a while. Because it's really a movie about Steve Carell's obsession with
pleasing his mom.
Yeah, with that, and with wrestling, and with how he sees himself. And so that's what's really interesting about it. But I spent so much time trying to figure out what his relationship was with Channing Tatum and where I thought it was supposed to go and why it was so bizarrely stressed. Like this whole section in the middle when Channing Tatum sort of turns against him and doesn't want him around anymore, and they don't like why, sort of. Like, you kind of get that the relationship has been ruined by the fact that he got distracted away from wrestling for a while there and wasn't as good as he could have been. Like that Channing Tatum probably had this chance to become an amazing wrestler, and that his relationship with John DuPont probably ruined that.
Well, they set up that he and his brother, like, they didn't grow up, like, his brother raised him because their parents were gone. So, like, when his brother decided he didn't want to be part of the Foxcatcher team initially, Channing Tatum was on his own for the first time in his life, calling the shots. And then he saw Steve Carell as like his new father. Mm-hmm. And so when his new father turned on him, like, that just crushed him. And so he totally retreated, and then they brought in his brother.
Yeah.
And so that was the more friction, but
yeah, I don't know. I think that to me was the part where it sort of got,
like, you thought Steve Carell was going to be like this fatherly guy, and you find out that he's just like using.
Well, I never thought I could tell from her. You put those weaselly little short teeth and that nose on Steve Carell, and you're just like, this guy's a fucking horrible person.
I heard he's really, really good in it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's great. Oh, no, the performance is great. One of the weird things about this, and it's almost distracting, was I was watching just the way people move. I was thinking a lot about the fact that I
was watching that. Like,
yeah.
Mark Ruffalo and Channing Tatum have, like, they kind of hunch their back, and they have this hulky, like, swagger to them. And then Steve Carell is really always, like, has this, it's like leaning back and has, like, his legs put together.
Yeah.
And he kind of waddles everywhere.
Yeah. He always kind of looks like he's been injured, and those two guys kind of look like they're top heavy all the time. It's weird.
Yeah. And even they have,
but awesome.
Like, major makeup. Like, Channing Tatum's got, like, another nose apparatus or thing, and he's got, like, the Marlon Brando cheek thing going on.
Yeah, and they've got the cauliflower ear implants on him. And Mark Ruffalo, like, they've shaved off part of his hair, and he looks a little bit different. He's obviously put on a little weight. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out, and especially because, like, it's hard to talk too much about this movie without talking about the end, but that
because you don't want to spoil the end.
No.
So
but we can simply say that the ending is
it's a true story, so everyone
right. Yeah, like
everybody knows that he murdered him.
Okay, well,
there it is.
We're into spoilers. So there is a murder that happens at the end of the movie, and the way that whole sequence is done is chilling, and because it's not, man.
Because I thought he watched the video and he was like, "Oh my God, what did I do to Channing Tatum? I should go talk to his brother and see if I can convince his brother to bring him back." And instead,
nope.
Steve Carell just drives over there and shoots him in the gut.
I never thought that at all.
And I was like, "Why did he do that?" And I was like, "Oh, because in the video he didn't appear in the video, which he tried to appear in the video."
Well, not even that he didn't appear in the video. It's that I think he realizes that he's saying all this shit about how he wants to be a coach and what a coach means and all this, and he's not a fucking coach. He stands in the corner. Like, this other guy has everything he wants, and is the person he wants to be in like every way. Like, that's why when you look back,
who are you talking about?
Mark Ruffalo's character. Mark Ruffalo's character is who Steve Carell wants to be. Like,
right.
That's why he's disturbed by, the scene where they meet the wife and the kids, and that's why he's all weird there. Like, he wishes he was Mark Ruffalo, and he watches that video and talks about how he's a great coach, and Mark Ruffalo really is a good coach, and actually does care about Channing Tatum's well-being, and so that it's the way that it's shot though, and the way that like it's so much more cold-blooded because of like he shoots him, and then there's a pause, and then he shoots him again, and then there's a pause,
and his wife comes out,
and then he shoots him again, and you're just like, holy shit! Like, it's not just that he shoots him a couple times and drives off. Like, that's just, you could almost in some crazy world call it
the
a
only
crime
thing he says
of
when he
passion.
drives
Like,
up is like, "You got something you want to say to me?"
No, yeah. Do you have something against me?
Or okay,
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is like in the video, because he didn't appear in the video, I assumed that's why he was upset. He's like,
it's insane.
You had nothing nice to say about me in the video, when it could have just been like the editor just didn't include it.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah,
I mean,
he flips out, and
not that if that's what was really said, or even
I hired
close
you to say good things about me in the video, and you couldn't say anything good about me, so he shot him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
whatever the actual facts are, it's not like we can actually make sense out of why the guy did it. But the scene is fucking terrifying because of the way that it's set. Because it's so deliberate. And all those weird scenes where he's buying a tank.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you just know. You're just like,
where's the machine gun?
This guy's kind of fucked.
I heard a machine gun. There's supposed to be a machine gun with this.
Yeah, like, I bought this tank and it doesn't have the 50 cal on it that I wanted. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Let's go have lunch.
I think it's because of, he's so wealthy. I think sometimes that comes through. That can be damaging. I haven't seen the movie, but I know the story because I've read the story. But
yeah, he's one of those isolated rich people who, yeah,
it is.
It's just because he can buy a tank if he wants one. Because you have so much money. Everybody has some sort of DuPont product, I'm sure, in their houses. Mm-hmm. Many of them.
Mm-hmm.
They touched on that in the movie.
Yeah.
We see the indoctrination video.
Right. Yeah, where they talk about. Yeah. It's good. It's a good movie.
Cool.
Just not as good as Moneyball.
Next week we're seeing The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah,
should be fun. Is there tickets available for that on Amazon, Alamo yet?
I don't know.
My freaking app keeps on crashing, so I can never. I always forget to look online.
I'll look in a couple days. I'll buy them. They usually come out on Monday or Tuesday.
Cool. Friday, please.
I'm sure we'll get in somewhere.
Does Friday work?
Yeah.
I'll have to see it by myself if not, because Laura doesn't work Friday.
Yeah, no, Friday will work.
And it's a 3-hour-long movie,
Yeah. We may not be able to record on Friday, but we can at least see it on Friday.
That's fine.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye. Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5.
and download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover, and also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.
See, he thinks Terminator's going to suck too.
I think he's okay.
Oh, what is he just?
He's all pissed off.
Oh yeah.
Should we just pause it?